The boosted Primeape, going to invest that Protect Shield and look for that Karate Chop farm down, leaving absolutely loaded. The opponent going to send back out the balloon. We fire off one Karate Chop and the next Rage Fist, either knocking out or forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. The opponent invests that Protect Shield, the super spammy Primeape, all the next Rage Fist, and this Primeape is about to get out of hand. The opponent still has one Pokemon remaining, the very bulky Poliwrath, but Poliwrath not going to appreciate this heavily boosted Rage Fist. Welcome back to the channel. My gosh, yesterday was some day for us GBL enthusiasts, with not only Primeape but Annihilape getting a legacy move of Rage Fist. This was a very rare com day that I grinded insanely hard. I've invested a bucket load of time, stardust and resources, and we have Primapes and Annihilapes for all 3 leagues. I've got my Shadow Annihilape for both Great and Ultra League, triple moved and ready to go. I was fortunate enough to catch a rank 25 Great League Primeape, so of course I've invested that Elite TM, triple moved it, and that is good to go as well. Long before we got the news of Primeape even getting a com day, I thought with the Karate Chop buff this thing's going to be phenomenal in Ultra League. So I've now got that maxed out all the way at level 51, double legacy, good to go, and we will be bringing my classic fighter double dark poison line. I've also got the Hundo Annihilape that I currently can't max out, but we'll do that at some point. Of course, you've probably seen these monkeys featured already, but most people are pairing them with boring, bulky meta threats. Today I woke up, Big Pokey sent me a triple shadow team with both monkeys, so you know I had to showcase it. Without any further ado, let's get into the battle. And in game 1, Big Pokey led his Shadow Gator into Lotix, not fantastic. We see the immediate pivot into the team save switch of Shadow Primeape. Primeape fires off the Rage Fist, vamping up his attack. The opponent bank a boatload of energy and then send out a Azumarill. Primeape used to be hopeless in this matchup, but now has the ability to hit for neutral with these Rage Fist, and they continually do more and more damage. The opponent tanks the first, Primeape already at the third, which is triple boosted. Azumarill invests that Protect Shield, looks for that bubble farm down, but Primeape says no, reaches one further Rage Fist. The opponent double shield Azumarill, and from a rough spot, Big Pokey now very much in the driver's seat. This very angry ape was able to gain a 2-0 shield advantage versus a fairy type, which is pretty absurd. We now send out Gator. The opponent go for the Ice Beam bait, looking to gain an advantage back, but Big Pokey calls the bait. Big Pokey invests the Protect Shield. The opponent continue to masturbate, throwing Ice Beam after Ice Beam. The opponent then looked to make a catch onto Lotix, and Big Pokey just more than happy to remove it from the field of play. Hydro Cannon secures the knockout. The opponent sends back out Azumarill. The super spammy Gator also going to be looking to remove this mouse from the field of play. The opponent sends out the third, which is Gastrodon, and you already know this game is signed, sealed and delivered. Hydro Cannon going to get the opponent deep into the yellow health range. The opponent already had enough and they concede the match. GG's and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle, we see Gator into Clodsire. This is definitely where the team wants to see it. The opponent save switch into their own Shadow Gator, and we respond with Primeape. Primeape actually able to outpace Gator. Gator thinks is the king of charge move spam. Well, not anymore. Shadow on Shadow crime. This Karate Chop damage is really going to start chunking as well, as we are just going to continually look to boost it. The opponent once again played to the CMP tie. They do not win. The next Rage Fist forces the opponent all shields down. Big Pokey might consider a shielding and just fully Karate Chop farming down. That's exactly the play we see. Primeape looks for that Karate Chop farm down, which we would be able to get. The opponent actually looked to catch onto Clodsire, and Clodsire not going to appreciate this boosted Ice Punch. Ice Punch certainly puts them into Hydro Cannon range. Big Pokey over farms massively, plays to the CMP side, maximising his energy. Hydro Cannon removes Clodsire from the field of play. Back out comes Gator. Gator gets farmed down. The opponent's final Pokemon's Jump Off, and we're 2 for 2 on opponents running for the hills. In the next battle, we see Shadow Gator into Wigglytuff. I'll be honest, my first thoughts when I saw this team was, how do you deal with a Wigglytuff? And I'm sure someone has already posted that in the comment section down below. How do we deal with it? I have no idea, but let's see what Big Pokey looks to do. We go for the correct 7 Shadow Claws and the Hydro Cannon. Landing that is actually huge. We're actually able to force a CMP tie here as well. Wigglytuff likely shields because Charmers love to shield, but at least we've got a shield advantage and got it into a range where we can counter farm it down. Annihilape hasn't even featured in the first 2 battles, so finally we see Annihilape enter the battlefield. My god, them charms did disgusting damage. Annihilape gets the counter farm down, but at the cost of 2/3 of its health. Hopefully this isn't a nonsense triple fast move pressure team. The opponent sends out Quagman, which is a very good sign for us. We fire off the Rage Fist, vamping up our attack. The opponent actually pivot out into Diggersby. Orf making a very nice catch. Catching the next Rage Fist, which is double resisted. The opponent clearly miscounted, thinking that was potentially a close combat, and it was not. Big Pokey pivots into Primeape, opts to go for the Rage Fist. Ice Punch would be super effective here, but one will not be lethal, so I don't dislike that play. Just looking to vamp up the Karate Chop damage. The opponent go for the Fire Punch bait. This next boosted Ice Punch should be lethal. The opponent doesn't commit to the Scorching Sands. Big Pokey knows this is a Fire Punch, willing to tank the damage. The opponent very much in danger of getting Karate Chop farm down. Big Pokey gonna go for the play of Rage Fist. Karate Chop farming down. The opponent switch timer pop up, back out comes the Quagman. Big Pokey gonna fire off one further Rage Fist, removing Quagman from the field of play. We pivot into Annihilape, counter farm down Diggersby, and take that game. I'm calling it now. Rage Fist will be getting nerfed next season, and these monkeys can get out of hand just so quickly. In the next battle, we see Gator into Typhlosion. Big Pokey looks to save switch into Primeape, and you can already see Shadow Primate's lack of bulk. Just two Incinerates have got Primeape below half health. The opponent forces protection with a Thunder Punch and then send out a Azumarill. This is not the worst spot to be in, as we're going to make multiple Rage Fists before this slow, bulky, cumbersome mouse even reaches an Ice Beam. Shadow Primeape unleashes the next Rage Fist, which the opponent is unwilling to shield. The opponent looks for that bubble farm down once again, unsuccessfully, so Primeape will take switch or force our Protect Shield back. The opponent unwilling to fight for switch advantage, putting it all on their 2-shield Typhlosion. Typhlosion comes out, gets the Incinerate farm down. Big Pokey sends out Gator, throws one Shadow Claw. The opponent looks to reach the Blast Burn. They don't get there. Annihilape deletes it in the blink of an eye, and out comes Chestnut. The opponent might have 2 Protect Shields to hide behind. However, what they can't shield is this boosted counter damage. Big Pokey going to invest the final Protect Shield. I'm almost certain of it, and look to do even more fast move pressure. We shield up the Frenzy Plant. Big Pokey already at the next Rage Fist. The opponent going to very quickly find himself all shields down, and this boosted counter damage now is absolutely disgusting. The opponent look for the Vine Whip farm down. We simul KO and take that game. Oh man, that is disgusting. In the next battle, we see Gator into Drifblim. I was going to say, despite us hitting for super effective, the opponent can cheese their way through this matchup. Like we've been cheesing our way through multiple matchups so far in the video. That would be if they're on the buff move of Astonish. The opponent actually on Hex. Yeah, don't do that. Just run Astonish and try and fast move, beat stuff down. We force a protection, then see the simul swap of Primeape into Dunsparce. A lot of Primeape do run close combat, so we might force a protection here as well. The opponent looks to call the Rage Fist bait. Nice play on their part. I think if you're going to run double Monkey, Ice Punch does make sense, giving you some coverage into potential flying types. And we've of course got that close combat nuke on our Annihilape. Big Pokey once again goes to the Rage Fist, not at the best timings. Using a 2-turn move into a 3-turn move. You should throw it 1, 4 or 7, not 3 like we did there, as that is alignment. Primeape regardless able to get a very nice Karate Chop farm down. Back out comes Drifblim. We go for the correct 1 Karate Chop and the Rage Fist. Rage Fist forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. Primeape easily going to outpace to the next Rage Fist, which will be removing this balloon from the field of play. What is that third? Out comes Poliwrath. Poliwrath very bulky, but this Rage Fist is now triple or even quad boosted. I forgot there's been that many thrown. Rage Fist nearly secures the knockout. Primeape Karate Chop farms down and sweeps the entire team. GG's and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we see another yikes. I thought Wigglytuff would be difficult. Jumpluff, just as difficult for us, as of course, none of our team particularly fancy this flying grass type. If the opponent was running twin nukes, this wouldn't be the worst spot, as on Acrobatics and Energy Ball, they're quite slow to charge moves. But of course, this is the Aerial Ace variant, which means they're going to take only 5, then 4 to each Aerial Ace respectively. Big Pokey has very quickly found himself all shields down. He's once again firing off a Rage Fist. Rage Fist forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. Big Pokey able to reach the next Rage Fist on the charge attack priority. Unfortunately, unable to reach the Ice Punch. The next Rage Fist does so much damage, getting Jumpluff into the red health range. Primeape putting in work, even in this type disadvantage matchup. We send out Gator. Can the opponent reach the Energy Ball? I think they could, but the opponent doesn't actually commit to it, which is huge for us. Unless they pivot now, we can fully Shadow Claw farm them down. Gator gets a huge farm down, and out comes Dunsparce. Again, we go for good timing. 1 Shadow Claw and the Hydro Cannon. The Hydro Cannon doesn't quite 2-shot, but does a lot of damage. We then bank the Hydro Cannon for the road and then send out Annihilape. The opponent going to fire off the Drill Run. And Trainer, you need to pivot. Dunsparce, you aren't making it. The opponent finally recognised they're not going to reach the charge move, but it's simply too little too late. Out comes Quagman. Quagman gets hit in the face with the boosted close combat. One more counter knocks him out. We counter farm down Dunsparce and emerge victorious. GG's. Heading into the next battle, we lead Shadow Gator into Primeape. We've seen this one play out with us being the Primeape, so this is not a particularly great spot for us to be in. However, as the opponent's the regular variant, we can tank the first Rage Fist. If I was Big Pokey, I'd look to force a Protect Shield and then go into the mirror after obtaining a shield advantage. Let's see what Big Pokey looks to do. We fire off the Hydro Cannon. There is the pivot. I like this play a lot. Of course, we're very quickly going to have to give that Protect Shield back on our Primeape. However, if the opponent switches out now, we've got a huge energy lead. The opponent continues to stay in, so Big Pokey going to look to remove the opposing Primeape from the field of play, firing off the Rage Fist. The opponent go all in on their Primeape, and this is a tough spot. Do we Karate Chop farm down, or do we put it all on Annihilate? Big Pokey goes all in his Primeape. The opponent eventually pivot out into Mandibuzz, and Mandibuzz is going to be greeted with a boosted Ice Punch. The boosted Ice Punch does a lot of damage. We then pivot out into Gator. Gator able to reach the Hydro Cannon on the CMP tie. Hydro Cannon won't quite be lethal, but will definitely put him into counter farm down range. Let's see if the opponent go for an undercharge, an attempted snarl farm down. The opponent does go for the undercharge. Very, very nice undercharge from the opponent, getting the perfect farm down as well. We don't send out Primeape. Instead, sending out Annihilape. Annihilape is going to be greeted with the Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse does around half our health. The opponent sends out Gastrodon. The opponent tries to make the catch unsuccessfully. We're now able to fire off the close combat. Shadow close combat. Gonna rock this snail. Is it a snail or a slug? I don't know, but what I do know is we're going to emerge victorious. GG's, and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle, we'll lead Shadow Gator into Morpeko. This little Wish Pikachu has huge cojones. Entering the Go Battle League straight after Mankey Comday, we see the save switch into Primeape and out comes Mantine. This is definitely not a great spot to be in. You can see two Ice Punches go nowhere near close to knocking out. Big Pokey actually looking to make a play at switch advantage. I don't think this matchup will be winnable. Let's see if he can cheese his way through it. Primeape seems to be the king of cheesing its way through matchups. It has no right in winning. We can't afford to double shield. However, the opponent actually looked for the wing attack farm down, which should hopefully force a Protect Shield back. We fire off the next Rage Fist. The opponent actually gives up switch, sending out Morpeko. And trainer, you're going to live to regret that decision. Out comes Annihilate. Are we going to call the Psychic Fangs? Big Pokey actually correctly shield up the Aura Wheel. The opponent needs to pivot out. Out comes Gastrodon, and we see the immediate pivot into Gator. The opponent still with two Protect Shields, too high behind. Is this a winnable game? Let's see. If the opponent go for the Earth Power here, removing us from the field of play, I think this is curtains for us. The opponent fire off the Earth Power. All they've got to do here is just shield, especially when we throw an alignment. Just shield this move up. Earth Power, Annihilate. When it's GG's, the opponent actually doesn't invest that Protect Shield. Trainer, what are you doing? Okay, we're going to take that game, but I definitely think the opponent was sat in the driver's seat, but they fumbled the bag. Heading into the next battle, we lead Shadow Gator into Hakamo. We fire off a couple of Shadow Claws, then see the save switch into Primeape. Primeape builds to the Ice Punch, baits with the Rage Fist. Hakamo is a pretty bulky Dragon type. However, they do invest a Protect Shield. Primeape is going to invest a Protect Shield back. The opponent fire off the Brick Break, lowering our already non-existent defense. We commit to the Ice Punch, unfortunately unable to get it. That's rough. Big Pokey sends out his Gator, which is inevitably about to get debuffed. This Hakamo is going to start running for our team. Big Pokey just fires off the Hydro Cannon immediately, looking to put an end to his misery. The opponent invests that protection. We then see the Simul swap Annihilate into Shadow Vic. My gosh, this Razor Leaf damage is disgusting. Hopefully this Rage Fist knocks out so we don't have to take any more fast move pressure. Rage Fist isn't lethal. We're already so low. Back out comes Hakamo. Hakamo able to Dragon Tail farm us down. We send out Gator. What do we need in the back? Show me something like, I don't know, something we can one-shot. Please be like Shadow Donphan or Marowak. The opponent sends out Bastiodon. No, I think we get Smackdown, farm down. Get there, Gator. Do not let me down. Gator looks to reach the second Hydro Cannon. The opponent able to Smackdown, farm us down. And I'm going to cry myself to sleep, as I always hate when I see a loss into a Bastiodon. Heading into the next battle. Why couldn't we see Alteria's Ice Beam? Would have cleanly one-shot Big Pokey. Looking to fire it off immediately. Does the opponent respect the damage? Boo. We force a protection and see the pivot into Primeape. The opponent allow us to reach an Ice Punch. Trainer, it's just a Rage Fist, I promise. The opponent shows no respect. They get one shot. There's the boom I'm looking for. And the opponent is going to concede the match. Primeape putting a smile back on my face. In the next battle, we see Gator into a Azumarill. This is a win for Gator in the 2-shield. However, you can't really 2-shield in this matchup as our backline it does not operate without protection, as we've seen just how glassy these Shadow Monkeys are. The opponent opting to farm up a boatload of energy, enabling us to reach this Hydro Cannon on the CMP tile, which also goes unshielded, which is like best case scenario. Azumarill with a non-existent attack stat can't even knock us out of a play rough. The opponent fire off the play rough. The opponent looks for that bubble farm down, allowing Gator to reach yet another Hydro Cannon, and we're actually going to win the 0 shield scenario, which is like best case for us. We then see the immediate pivot into Primeape, and out comes Clodsire. It looks like it's time to start cheesing our way through yet another matchup we have no right in winning. If I was playing now, I'd try and sneak the Ice Punch through 2 Protect Shield. As you can see, a boosted Rage Fist will come nowhere near knocking out. The opponent actually bait us with a Stone Edge as well. We farm to the Ice Punch, go for the Rage Fist, or for the opponent calls. In fairness, we are going to be able to outpace the next Rage Fist, so regardless, we should force a Protect Shield back. Finally, we strip the first Protect Shield off the opponent. Big Pokey going all in on his Primeape. The opponent this time full send the Earthquake. Primeape going to overfarm before firing off the next Rage Fist. Is the opponent going to go all in on Clod? The opponent actually let go of Clod. Out comes Cresselia. Cresselia not going to appreciate this boosted Rage Fist. Can the opponent Psycho Cut farm us down before we reach the next one? Big Pokey looks to commit there and we get it. How much is this going to do? I don't think it'll one-shot, but it should do a lot. Oh my god. Holy cow, that caught me off guard. We send out Gator. The opponent tries and Psycho Cut farm us down unsuccessfully. And of course, we find ourselves in a shambolic position. In the next battle, we see Dunsparce in the lead. This time we say switch into Annihilape. Out comes the Kentucky Fried Chicken, Bird of Death. We're going to fire off the first Rage Fist. The opponent don't shield the first. My god, that does a lot from Annihilape. Big Pokey able to reach the next Rage Fist on the charge attack priority. The opponent invests that Protect Shield. Holy cow, Annihilape putting in so much work here. Big Pokey has obtained himself shield advantage in the mid game. A fighting type into a flying type. We now send out Gator. It looks like Big Pokey going for the 1 shield. Full farm down. Big Pokey invest that Protect Shield. Shielding up the fly. We've now got such an energy lead against Dunsparce as well. We're going to be able to reach the back-to-back Hydro Cannons. Big Pokey fires off the first, forcing a Protect Shield. We then see the pivot into Primeape. Primeape actually going to tank the drill run. Primeape, you are just so bloody glassy. Out comes Gastrodon. This is definitely a situation where we wish we had the close combat nuke. But regardless, we're going to fire off the Rage Fist. The Mud Slap knocks us out. Out comes Gator. Gator overfarms before firing off the Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon will be removing this snail from the field of play. Just Dunsparce remains. Big Pokey gonna shield this move up. After 4 Shadow Claws, I believe this Hydro Cannon should be lethal. It should be pretty close. Big Pokey actually throws 3, but I think they're still in Hydro Cannon range. Hydro Cannon does pick up the dub, and we take that game. In the next battle, we see Rhyperior in the lead, something I definitely didn't expect to see after Mankey Comp Day. The opponent safe switches into Galarian Weezing. Big Pokey gonna fire off the Hydro Cannon. Shadow on Shadow Crime. That is absolutely disgusting damage. This opponent's team has completely bamboozled me. They are double weak to ground as well. Back out comes Rhyperior. Rhyperior probably going to instantly put up that Protect Shield. As Hydro Cannon double super effective. It'd probably knock out Rhyperior. For around a month, it does that much damage. I think I'd send out Annihilape here just because Counter's going to do objectively more than the Karate Chops. Although in fairness, Primeape is the spammier of the two. So I guess we're just going to look to start vamping up. We shield up the Breaking Swipe, fire off the Rage Fist. Rhyperior not known for its bulk. Oh, it's not quite lethal and we're unable to Karate Chop farm down afterwards. Big Pokey just going to ride his boost, shield up the next Breaking Swipe, look for that Karate Chop farm down. Out comes a Alolan Golem. Oh, trainer. I actually really respect the team. It's a triple shadow team, triple weak to ground. This is ridiculous. We might actually lose here. Is a Wild Charge going to one-shot? Have they even got Wild Charge? Yes, they do. I can't believe the opponent won, but what a cool team. If you're watching, I would love to shoutcast that madness. In the next battle, We see another Primeape in the lead. I'm going to anticipate us playing this the same as last time. Tank the Rage Fist. Look to force a Protect Shield. The opponent actually fire off the Rage Fist. Not wanting to invest the Protect Shield. Opt to catch the Hydro Cannon onto Blastoise. Potentially another triple Shadow team. I love this Elo range. Trainers are just running all kinds of madness and I am all for it. The Shadow Blastoise save switch is answered by Annihilape. Annihilape goes to that one shield, a full counter farm down, and we leave it so much energy. Back out comes Primeape. Primeape instantly going to be putting up that Protect Shield, blocking up the incoming Rage Fist. Big Pokey able to outpace to the next Rage Fist. Is the opponent willing to double shield their Primeape? Yes, they are. The opponent slightly over farms before firing off the Rage Fist. Big Pokey thinking he can counter farm down in 3. 1, 2, actually 2 counters is all she wrote. The opponent sends out Golurk and concede the match. And another triple Shadow team as well. Shout out that opponent. Heading into the next battle, we see Dunsparce in the lead. We see the instant pivot into Primeape. Our Primeape save switch is answered by a Azumarill. And we're seeing Primeape is actually pretty good at cheesing its way through this matchup. Let's see if we go all in, trying to fight for switch. Having a move that only costs 35 energy or 8 turns of 100% attack boost is just ridiculous. I can't see what Niantic were thinking giving us this, as this is just such a busted Pokemon. Big Pokey invests Protect Shield knowing he's going to force Protect Shield back off this opponent, as this double boosted Rage Fist will secure the knockout. The opponent actually tanked the damage. Do they have another Fairy type? What is going to take on this boosted Primeape? Apparently nothing. The opponent just like, fuck this game, and they're going to concede the match. In the next battle, we see yet more Shadow on Shadow crime. Shadow Gator into Dragonite. The opponent save switches into Ferrothorn, and here comes Annihilape. Shadow counter is disgusting. Holy. We're going to invest the Protect Shield, blocking up the Power Whip. Big Pokey doesn't commit to the full counter farm down. I don't actually think we'd get there. Instead, he opts to throw the Rage Fist. Rage Fist goes unshielded. Dragonite does resist counter, but if it returns, you're going to see they will not look resisted whatsoever. Back out comes Dragonite. Dragonite not tanking these counters particularly well, as I previously said, and they're also not going to tank this Rage Fist. Rage Fist forced to protection. The opponent looks at that Dragon Breath farm down. Annihilape unable to get to the next Rage Fist, but Dragonite already finds itself in the red health range. We send out Gator to operate as the damage sponge. The opponent fire off the Dragon Claw, then pivot out into Venusaur. We YOLO the Ice Beam. Does the opponent respect the damage? Ice Beam, unfortunately does go shielded. We send out Primeape. Primeape gonna fire off the Ice Punch. This doesn't get the same type of attack bonus. Oof, but it doesn't matter. It cleanly picks up the one shot. Back out comes Dragonite. Primeape just gonna shield. Karate Chop farm down. Yeah, and we're gonna take yet another very fun dub to end today's showcase. Huge shout out to Big Pokey for bringing us the double Mankey Shadow Evolution lines straight away as soon as they dropped with their Legacy Comday moves. I think this Rage Fist is going to get nerfed. You can't have a Pokemon like Primeape spamming that after 8 turns for 100% attack boost. It just gets out of hand far too quickly. However, if you've got one, put it to work while you can. The nerf is incoming. You heard it here first. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing if you like your battles featured on my channel. A link to our battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching. And I'll see you all in the next one.